Cafe's my favorite. Yeah, what is it? The CSB Crazy. In this video, I'll talk about how I set up for anime conventions, prepare for back-to-back event weekends, and how this event compares to Anime Riverside, which is one of their other NerdBot conventions that I also did earlier this year. I'll go into more details on those topics and more, so if you're interested, keep on watching. Trying something new with this vlog. So basically, I do have a corner table spot. I'm at A53. Just a little information about Anime Pasadena. It is a 2-day event. It's basically a NerdBot convention, so it's run by the same people who run Anime Riverside and Anime Las Vegas. I would say that Anime Pasadena is their original one and their first convention. I do have to adapt my table display because I did initially have a drawn-out model of how I want it to look, because this is kind of it's not a 10 by 10 space, but the table display format is pretty similar. However, I realized I used a photo of my 626 night market table display as inspiration, but that was actually the wrong photo because Anime Pasadena provides an 8-foot table. So technically it's like a 10 by 6. So I think I'm going to add 2 more grids here. I don't think I have enough grids, but I'm going to use them to display the mystery bags that I need to bring tomorrow. But I mean, there's a lot of time. It's only like 2 something, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm kind of taking my time because setup today is from 12 to 8. But I do want to get this quickly so I can go home because I'm tired. I've been up. As you can see, I'm wearing Dodger gear. I was basically at the Dodger parade this morning. The Dodgers won the World Series a couple days ago, so they had the parade very last minute today. Let me grab more grids. But I'm excited because it is going to be the first time I'm seeing a lot of friends in a while. I do have a lot of friends who are vending at this convention particularly. Some information about Anime Pasadena. I did name a couple things previously, but I forgot to include the rest of it. It is at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California. I can't do this at the same time. It is a 2-day event typically. It's around early to very early mid-November. This one in particular is November 2nd and 3rd. So if you want to do this event, I would anticipate it being the 1st or 2nd weekend of November. It used to coincide sometimes with Anime New York. However, this time Anime New York moved from November to August, and it seems like they're going to be going in that direction from now on. So you don't really have to worry about it coinciding with other events, particularly in California. Hello! I know. Straight from the parade. Now, typically for my display for anime conventions, I tend to set them up on the floor, and then once it's mostly ready, I would just lift it up and put it on the table, and I usually do that just because of height. If I were to build it on my table and then build it up, I can't reach it, and it's a little bit unstable even with a step stool. But in this case, because my table is wide in that it's basically 10 by 6, my display kind of just spans within the table width. It's about 4 feet high, like 4 grid cubes high, so I can pretty much reach that. If anything, I can use my step stool and it's not too tall. It's only really tall when it's the 5th grid cube. So in this case, I don't set it up on the floor and then pick it up. I just set it up on the table. Also, because I am soloing, at least for today, for setup, I don't want to have to ask people to do that with me because I know everyone's busy. So I usually like to have it on a corner just so people can see it from both sides. And I feel like if it's far enough from... Hi! I feel like every time you catch me, I'm in the middle of a vlog. Good morning, it is day 1 of Anime Pasadena. It is 8:35 in the morning. We got here about 30 minutes ago. We added a few more details to the display. We're trying to sort everything out at least before con starts at 10 in the morning. So I believe this con is from 10 to 7 today, and then tomorrow it's from 10 to 6. There's been a long line outside because we got here around 8. I'm pretty sure some of them arrived around 6 or 7, if not earlier. I'm assuming they're in line so that they can quickly line up for voice actor autographs. Because for this convention, I would say it's on par with some of the comic conventions where a lot of people come here to get autographs. If you notice at Anime Pasadena, there's a lot of people with wagons, basically full of Funko Pops. and some of them are resellers, and I feel like this is one of those anime conventions where that's the primary purpose. I wouldn't say that Artist Alley is an afterthought, but I have noticed that at least for the Nerdbot conventions. Who came by and picked up a delivery? So if you didn't know, I'm very much a Shohei Ohtani fan. Talk about him all the time on Instagram. But recently I decided to design an Ohtani sticker, which I thought turned out super cute because it also includes his dog Decopin. I wasn't sure how popular he would be, so I only ordered like the sample number, which is about 10 to 15 or so. And then for Anime Pasadena, I decided it would be a good way to experiment whether he'll do really well because like he's not an anime character, so I wasn't sure how his stickers would perform. But surprisingly, I think we sold about 5 of him already. I'm not really saving any for tomorrow, so if we do sell out today, we sold out. But I did order more, so I should have some in time for Anime Expo Chibi if people are interested in getting him. I did decide that this design would be a SoCal event exclusive because Dodgers, I don't know if he would sell if I was in New York or a different state. But also I've always wanted to create a product exclusive to a specific event or a specific region. So I feel like this would be a good way to see how that works. But very excited. I'm glad he's been selling very well. Let's go visit Ivy. Hello, girl. Hello. We're ready for your video. Quick update, it is 11:05, so about an hour since con started. Temperature-wise, since apparently people do appreciate when I talk about temperature. Today specifically is very cold. Outside it was relatively cloudy and I think it was around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. However, when we came inside, I'm assuming the heater was on, it was very warm. I'm wearing a shirt layer and then I'm wearing a crew neck. Relatively, like this crew neck is pretty thick in general. Also, if you're interested in buying it, it's available on Mualcaina.com. I'm also wearing like stockings and it's pretty warm, very warm. I was sweating a little bit while setting up the display. As long as you have a jacket, at least when you're lining up outside, you should be fine. But it's pretty warm inside and it was relatively dead right when it opened, and I assume that's because most people were coming in for the voice actors, and lines for voice actors, from my experience here at Anime Pasadena, is very, very long. I would say, I remember when I lined up for Aaron's voice actor, Aaron from Attack on Titan, I think I lined up for like 2 hours. But here it's been pretty okay. I have seen a few empty tables, like the table behind us. I don't know about now actually, but is it empty? Yeah, it's empty. In that case, if you were interested in vending here, I would suggest reaching out to Anime Pasadena team. If not, just show up with your stuff and see if they're willing to sell a table. I feel like you can really do that with a lot of conventions, but every convention has its own way of distributing empty tables. I do want to get boba later, just because even though it's freezing outside, every day is a good time for boba. This is a bit of a secret? Not really. I mean, I posted on Instagram, but I didn't advertise it at the event. But on my catalog, I did say that I will have a free keychain with $25 minimum purchase. And in this case, it's really just holiday exclusive because it's this Polaroid design. And this one I don't believe I will be restocking. So I usually have a keychain that's only available once a year, and this time it is this keychain. Very cute. Hi.
I want to say thank you for your video about last year.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what I reviewed for today.
Oh really?
So I've been looking for your spot to like say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Actually, let me give you a sticker. Oh, yes.
Look at your...
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm still gonna get a pen.
Oh yeah, take your time. Thank you for stopping by. 1:21. It's too early for me to start short-circuiting because there are times where I've been making a few mistakes, like just the change is wrong or I almost forget something. I don't know. I think I'm getting like overstimulated very easily for some reason. But I did get boba. Very happy. If you're ever in Anime Pasadena or Pasadena area, Motto Tea Cafe is my favorite. This one is the Motto number 9 milk tea in a large size, though this looks like the regular size. 75% sweetness, cheese mousse, brown sugar boba. It's great. They are also really known for their souffle pancakes, which are really good, but it takes about 20 minutes to make them. And it was like a 12-minute walk from here, so not too bad. From my understanding, I don't know if it's just with vendors, but I'm pretty sure it's with everyone, you are allowed to bring outside food and drink. You can buy food here. There's, what is it, the birria like ramen?
Birria ramen.
That's crazy.
with mochi.
With mochi in the ramen?
I don't think it's in there. Actually, it might be. I think I saw something like that.
There's still like 5-6 hours until con ends, so we'll see how it goes. 3:29. It's like 3.5 hours until con ends. I don't know. Brain is just muddied right now. Again, I mentioned previously that I am in a stamp rally. I did mention in my SAC anime vlog that, oh wait, no, Otakon vlog, that I'm pretty much going to do one stamp rally per con just for my own benefit because it's a little too overwhelming to be in multiple stamp rallies, remembering which one has what rules. So I usually just dedicate to one, especially if I'm the one organizing both of them or most of them. So I did organize this one. This is the JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen stamp rally. This is a stamp card. I did put my stamp on it. It is fading, so I do need to buy more ink for this one. And then we put the rules on the back. Thankfully, Ivy did work on this one. Very cute. It's also winter themed, which is why our sticker sheet looks like this. Super cute. It's on a 4x6 sticker sheet. Thank you for stopping by. Tell me why I forgot that today is November 2nd, and it is also the 4-year anniversary of Mualcaina, and I totally forgot. I am brain rotted right now. Happy 4 years. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you. It's 4:37, so we are in the home stretch of con. I think I'm just tired because it's been a while since I've done a relatively long con, which in a way it's really just regular con hours. I would say that it started to die down within later on in the day. We did have a little bit of a rush from, I would say 11 to 1 o'clock, but I think it's died down. I'm wondering if people just went to the panels and maybe that's why there's less people roaming around, but it's not as hectic as a few hours ago. When comparing this to Anime Riverside, it feels like Anime Riverside was a little bit more busy, in my opinion, or at least from what I remember. The only difference, though, is that I was in the vendor hall for Anime Riverside. In this case, if you're not familiar with the layout of Anime Pasadena, there are 2 different halls, but we are inside the main hall, which is a mix of vendor hall and artist alley. There isn't really a clear line as to where artist alley starts and where vendor hall starts. You can kind of tell the difference once you see where the Funko Pops are. Most likely that's vendor hall. Usually for this type of convention, I advise that if you're a typical artist alley artist, if you can't get into artist alley, since that one sells a lot more quickly because it is a lot more affordable compared to vendor hall, just get a vendor hall spot at Anime Pasadena as long as you're in hall, I think it's hall A. Because you're basically in the same space, the only difference is that in artist alley, you're going to be surrounded by people who have that artist alley aesthetic, versus in vendor hall, maybe some people are artist alley-like, and then the others might be Funko Pop-like, or like resellers. I'm curious to see how tomorrow will go, because Saturday is typically the most attended out of the 2 days, typically for a lot of conventions. I don't recall a convention in which I did a lot better on a Sunday. If anything, there have been times where they're about the same. One instance is Anime Expo, but typically in my case and for a lot of other people, Saturday tends to be a little bit more busy. Has to be knife cut. Food! Yippee! Delicious. Vlogception. We're trying pancakes. Oh. This one is the, what is it? The souffle pancake with creme brulee. As requested. Is this even on? Yeah, it is. Okay. You can try the first bite or slice.
Do you just go down or do you have to cut this thing?
I usually cut it. I think it's like easier.
And Missy says stop being a barbarian. Fluffy.
Ooh.
Pretty. Oh, I like that it's not too sweet.
Right? Asian.
Perfect Asian compliment right there.
Delicious.
Great. Good morning, it is day 2 of Anime Pasadena. It is 8:19 in the morning. Similar to yesterday, con starts at 10 and it ends at 6 p.m. I would say that after looking at yesterday's numbers and even talking to a few other vendor friends, the sentiment is that, Anime Pasadena is a relatively okay convention. When I compared my numbers to other cons, I would say that it's a bit less than SAC Anime Summer Friday. I think what helped with the amount I made for yesterday was, one, I do have a corner spot. I did bring another table, so then I basically had more surface area to display my items, so you're not just passing one side. If you're coming from the other side, you can also see my products on that side. The Shohei Ohtani stickers did really well, even though it is a small percentage of the sales that we made. I feel like a lot of people did come by for those stickers specifically. Again, Ita bags. Surprisingly, I only brought like 2 of each Ita bag, and a lot of people did get the Ita backpack in pink, which was a little bit surprising since it's the least popular of the other colors. I have it in blue and green and black. Black were sold out. Corduroy bags, they're usually pretty popular in the SoCal area. There were a few people who did buy a few of them. Did anyone buy the cat corduroy bags?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe it wasn't with me, but usually the cat corduroy bags are most popular. But I did see a few people who did buy the pink. Oh, are these the only pink corduroy bags we have left?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think I brought like 5 of each bag, and we're down to like 2 bunny bags, which I'm kind of surprised because usually, I don't know, I feel like with this con, my least popular items are actually the ones that are selling the most because the bunny bags are doing really well. Like usual for pins, like the one-piece pins are really popular. Jujutsu Kaisen pins are popular. A few people did buy mystery bags, so I'm grateful for that. For Stamp Rally, we did run out of our portion of the Stamp Rally cards. We did have one person redeem the completed stamp card here with us, and I think it happened as well with some of the other artists participating in our Stamp Rally. Oh, 2 people total. Okay, so 2 people, not 1. But I think overall with other people on the Discord, some people were saying that it felt like the attendees were a little, I wouldn't say overstimulated, but they were like burnt out with the other stamp rallies because, as I mentioned in every single vlog, there is an oversaturation of stamp rallies. Overall in Artist Alley, obviously like me doing a stamp rally, I'm also contributing to the problem. Is there a solution to this? Not really, but it is what it is. At this point, it's really, does your prize attract someone to want to participate in your stamp rally, or are you well known enough that people will go to your table first and then, oh, they just so happen to see that you're doing a stamp rally and then they participate in your stamp rally first. I don't know, maybe I'll think about a solution for that next weekend at AXGB because I'm also in a stamp rally for that one. Some information about Anime Pasadena. This is a 2-day event. I did mention this earlier, but just a little refresher. This particular Anime Pasadena is from November 2nd to November 3rd. However, they did release next year's dates. They put it on the badge. So next year it'll be on November 8th to 9th. I'm not sure if that will coincide with Anime Expo Chibi since that's also around the time that Chibi would happen. For an Artist Alley table, it is $320. Comes with an 8-foot table. I believe it's an 8 by 2 foot table. It's actually more than 2 feet. I think it's like 8 and 2.5 feet table. Comes with 2 chairs. It doesn't really come with a sign and you're not necessarily required to put it on your table display. I forgot to put it on yesterday. Let's see if I remember to put it on today. In a way, no one really uses it and there's not a lot of signage here between the aisles, unfortunately. So as an attendee and even as an Artist Alley vendor, it's very easy to get lost, especially if you're looking for someone in particular. I do like that it does come with a divider. I believe you can hang things up on here because I have seen a few people put their banners on here. I did want to do that, but I'm running low on the hooks that I really need, but I don't know where they are, so I didn't put my banner up. Typically I would. I'm gonna try to do that for SJ Made. It's also nice because for Artist Alley, they do use this type of like white cream backdrop versus vendor's space. It's like red and black, so photo-wise, it does look really good. Parking-wise, I know there's parking attached to the convention center. I remember parking there when I was vending here 2 years ago. I'm assuming it's around $15. I don't know how much it is now. It's honestly easier if you just park like in Paseo, Colorado, which is just across the street, $12. There's also another parking structure just a block away, $12. Personally, as someone who is local to the area, I would do this event again because my major expenses are really just table fee and my helper, and then there's food. But I think if you're flying in, I wouldn't recommend this event unless you're able to keep your costs really low. Like if you're able to stay with a friend or you're splitting an Airbnb or a hotel with a friend, and then if you can just walk to the venue or at least just honestly, like just keep your costs low. Maybe you might want to do this event. If you're still reluctant or if you're a beginner Artist Alley vendor or you don't have a major budget for trying out a convention before you've done it before, you can even split a table. I mean, it is an 8-foot table, or even if you're able to get a corner spot and then maybe your friend or yourself can bring a table, you can basically do like an 8x8 space. Now you both have 8 feet, and then you're basically splitting the 320. I would say it's worth trying if you're local, but again, personally, I would do this event again. If you're an attendee, I have noticed, since I have gone to this convention as an attendee in 2021, and I was walking around, or a lot of the time back in 2022 when I was vending, I would recommend bringing a foldable chair, since this con could potentially be a line con, especially if you're waiting for an autograph with some of the voice actors. I don't know if it's worse this year, but I remember 2 years ago, the line would probably be like 1 to 2 hours long, depending on who you're waiting for. And if you're not able to stand for long periods of time, I've seen a few people bring one of those like foldable camping chairs, or you can bring one of those, I didn't bring it today, but those like foldable stools that unscrews and it becomes a stool. Overall, I think it's a very good first time con if you're an attendee. So you can get the vibe of what an anime con is like if you're easily overwhelmed by how Anime Expo can be. I'm interested to see how today will go. I don't expect it to be as much as yesterday because it is Sunday and it is, or the hours are a lot shorter. We're filming an Instagram reel. See us be crazy. Okay, and you can also get like a close-up of like me, because I think it's hard also to see from far.
True.
Can I get this one?
Wait. Please don't take the pin off of my display. Wait. Please don't take the pin off of my display. Now we have content to last a lifetime.
It's like, this is honestly one of our few times to get as much content as possible before the holidays, so.
The 5,000 views we sent to ourselves as references.
Only to only use like a handful of them. It is morning and I need my tripod. I'm gonna go try to get Kelsey and Ivy so we can take photos. I'm gonna go grab my photo tripod. We're gonna go take photos outside. Yes. I love this tripod. I've done a video about this actually. It's the best, and I use it for my phone when I vlog with my camera phone. Very helpful. My hair is not, what is going on here? Where did Ivy go? Did she go to Kelsey? Is this Kelsey Kishi Draws?
Oh my god, it's the Spider-Man meme, you know, with the same camera.
Hello, it is much later, it's 2:24, and I got boba. Pretty much nearly finished with it. I feel like overall, if you're gonna compare it to yesterday, it was definitely not as busy. There are a few people like walking around, and there was a crowd outside forming in the morning, but I feel like most of them, again, they went to the voice actor autograph area. We did notice that there has been a decline in people wanting to participate in our stamp rally, which is fine, like you don't have to join it. But it's interesting compared to a lot of other anime conventions like SAC Anime, they are more likely to want to participate. It really depends. Like there are some times where I just give them the stamp card and it's up to them if they want to participate or not. And usually I also like to give it because it's kind of like a keepsake memento. Even if they don't participate or if they don't complete it, it's kind of like a fancier version of a business card. Overall, I feel like sales are a little bit slow. I would say that as of now, we're about 60% of what we did yesterday, which isn't too bad considering that there's still like a few more hours. But again, I wasn't really expecting too much at this convention because the vibe is a little bit different compared to the other anime conventions. However, I feel that the sentiment is correct, at least on my case, where Anime Riverside tends to perform better for me compared to Anime Pasadena, because assuming that today is like 60 to 70% of yesterday, let's say 70% since we're kind of around 60%, it would still be less than what I did at Anime Riverside. And I was in Vendor Hall, which I assume that I would do better if I was in Artist Alley. But I think it's because there's a lot less vendors at Anime Riverside compared to Anime Pasadena. I didn't get to count the exact number of vendors and Artist Alley vendors at this location. It kind of seems like Anime Riverside is around, I would say 70 to 80% of Anime Pasadena. And I'm not really sure the difference in attendance from Pasadena and Riverside. but it does feel relatively similar. But I have also noticed that for Anime Pasadena, there does seem to be a community of sorts in that a lot of people do attend every year. There were a few people who did come by from 2 years ago, or the Anime Pasadena 2 years ago, and remember me from then. So the people who do come here seem to come to every Anime Pasadena versus other conventions. Maybe it's their first time or there's a lot of new attendees. If you didn't know, I am also on Twitch. I've been casually streaming for the past couple weeks, and also because I just wanted to try doing something on a different medium. If you want to con prep with me, especially with the next few weeks of me prepping for a lot of conventions and events, feel free to follow me. I'll have it linked down below. It's been fun so far. Lately, I have shown my different anime photo cards and how I grade pins and what I classify as a B grade pin. If you want to join, I'll have it linked down below. Currently covering for Ivy, so I'm basically cosplaying Ivy for the next few minutes. Honestly, it was a little nerve-wracking to take some sales just because I'm not used to where everything is. But it's been good so far. Just another tip, if you are soloing or if you just need some extra help, definitely feel free to reach out to other vendors or other vendor friends, or even just your table neighbors who might have someone else with them so they can watch over your table and you can go run off to the restroom or get food. Don't starve yourself. Also, I will have a more thorough review of Anime Pasadena on Patreon. If you didn't know, I'm on there. I usually post my Artist Alley tips, behind the scenes on upcoming products before I publicly release them. So if interested in supporting on Patreon or are just curious and nosy as to how I feel about this convention, besides the information that I share on this YouTube channel, feel free to support me on Patreon down below. I will have it linked as well. Also, I have tried to experiment a little bit with my vlog, at least for this month, or at least with this vlog. I don't know, I might go back to my typical style of vlogging next weekend with AXGB. Just because I've kind of realized that after the past year or so, I feel like my vlogs have been relatively similar with one another. Granted, you know, it's a different event, different people, but the style was pretty similar that, at least for me, when I am editing them, it kind of felt a little monotonous, even with filming as well. So kind of wanted to try something different with this weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If not, I'll go back to the old style. But I did want to inject more of my personality on this one, or at least show a little bit more of the side that I don't typically show in my vlogs, besides the business side. So if you did enjoy it, let me know. If not, I'll go back. Today, I decided to wear my One Piece headband plushies. My friend got it when she was in Japan, because I'll never get these because they only have it in summer, and I never go to Japan in summer, so. It's Sanji and Zoro. I think there is another version where it's Luffy and then he has, what is it? The gum gum fruit, but they're always sold out. Hello, it is 4:01, 2 hours-ish till con ends. I would say that it's slowed down very considerably in that it kind of feels like the con is closed. I would assume that a lot of people just left, or they're still at, or they went to the voice actor autographs. But I feel like at this point, a lot of them have left, because from a couple of years ago, they usually leave a few hours earlier. Even with all of that being said, I still would do this event again just because it is local to me. So it is worth the risk, if anything, because of my low expenses. But if you did go to this event, let me know how it went for you. If you came by and said hi, thank you so much. Don't mind me if it was a little awkward sometimes, especially for day one, early in the morning. I was very, I don't know, am I overstimulated? Probably. That I was pretty much like tripping over my own words, but regardless, thank you for coming by and saying hi. Appreciate you. My next con will be this weekend at Anime Expo Chibi at the Ontario Convention Center in Ontario, California. If you're attending, please say hi, or I'll be in the I'll be in the Artist Alley, table D3. I'm closer to the second entrance. I'll post my catalog whenever it goes up. If you want to see my experience from last year's AXGB, definitely click on this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.